Hi, this tutorial is created by pm-prep35.com. This is the second part of chapter 1 introduction from the PMBOK. In this I'm going to cover the details regarding project management and other aspects part of the chapter 1 called introduction. So continuing with the first part, PMBOK has 5th edition has 47 processes spanning 10 knowledge areas and 5 process groups. Although we will get into detail about what is a process group and what are these 5 process groups and what is a knowledge area and what are the 10 knowledge areas. To give an overview, the process group is more in lines with how project management activity can be grouped for a specific project life cycle, or it can be within a phase of a project life cycle. So project management activity are categorized into these 5 groups called initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. So there are 5 process groups. Number 1 is initiating, number 2 is planning, number 3 is executing, number 4 is monitoring and controlling, number 5 is closing. So from the way they are named, you can easily make out that these are processes that you follow in different parts of a phase or a life cycle. So when you start a project or a phase, whatever activities or processes you follow, they get grouped in initiating. Then after initiating, you do certain things or follow certain processes, they fall in planning. And then comes executing. Monitoring and controlling is, as the name goes, it's present in all the phases of the project life cycle, or they span all across these process groups. Then you have closing, which is done towards the end of a phase or a life cycle. So the way they have been categorized can itself give us an idea about the amount of experience or the detail that has gone into the project management body of knowledge. So more about these process groups in the coming chapters, but then for now let's continue with this. Project management is about balancing competing stakeholder needs. Stakeholders are the people who have vested interest on the project outcome. Vested interest. So they have some sort of an interest on the project outcome as such. They are keenly interested about how this project is going to pan out. So this interest can be in turn giving them some sort of benefit, or it might impact them in some way. So that's why the stakeholders or people who have an vested interest on the project outcome. So people who can get affected by the project as such, or the end result of the project, are called as stakeholders. It can be the project team, it can be the senior management, it can be the client. So we can get an idea of who can be called stakeholders. Project management is about balancing competing stakeholder needs. So there might be multiple groups of stakeholders, and you might have to decide whose interest is really important. So they become your key stakeholders. There might be a lot of people involved. There might be your family involved because you have tight schedules and you have to spend more time on job. But then you might have your client as the most important stakeholder sometimes. So you're balancing competing needs in this scenario. So that's where project management is about balancing competing stakeholder needs. So when I use family and customer, you can substitute the family with the project team. So you might have to juggle between the interests of the project team and the customer. So project management is about balancing competing stakeholder needs. Stakeholders have a vested interest in the project outcome. Stakeholders may have negative or positive influence on the project. There I mean, we might have seen these cases in our life, wherein when you have to build a new system and there is an existing system in an organization, there is always this resistance from the users